Hello, everybody. Welcome to Living Raw with Rosie. So it's the evening, and I'm winding down to end the day. And as I'm sitting here thinking about this one subject that's been on my mind for a while, and it's basically illness and disease. And the reason it's been on my mind is because I do have family members and I have friends who are going through um, illness right now, or who have recently been diagnosed with diseases. And it's something that's unavoidable, that eventually somebody, or you yourself, or I will be facing eventually, um, depending on our lifestyle. And the reason I want to talk about this is because I see a pattern that's been going on in my life, in my career field. I've always worked in the medical profession, and I've always been around patients who are very ill, who are recently diagnosed with something, who have sometimes, in some cases, not long to live. I also have worked in hospice when there's nothing left for the doctors to do for the patients, and the only thing left to do is just make them comfortable until they pass away. And the one thing I want to talk about is the pattern that I noticed. So when I was working in the hospitals, usually I was working with my patients, and sometimes they would be very down because they'd be diagnosed with some new illness or some new disease that they just found out about. And they're usually devastated, of course, as anybody would be. And the minute they find out, their reaction is to do research, to find out more about it, to see what's going on, and to see how they could take care of it. Well, the pattern that I see is that after the initial shock, they go into, denial, they go into anger, then they start accepting it, or disbelief, and then they start accepting it. Then that's when they do their research. Then I usually hear them saying, or they'll tell me, I'm gonna fight this, I'm gonna battle, I'm gonna fight it, I'm gonna change the way I live, I'm gonna change the way I eat to get better. And it's normal. That's exactly what you want to see a patient do. That's exactly what is common sense. But after they realize the drastic changes that they have to do in their life, after they realize that they have to rethink the way they've always lived, that's gonna actually inconvenience their family, their household, their way of living, their way of eating, they tend to not want to look for the cure anymore, and they go for accepting just the medication that to control the disease, to control the illness, because it's just too much work to do otherwise, to do something different. So this is a pattern that I notice with my patients. And something I've always said to myself that I wouldn't do. So years ago, I was diagnosed with having slight high not blood pressure, excuse me, slight high cholesterol. So immediately I went into that mode of changing my diet, that mode of, I'm gonna get rid of this, I do not want this, and I'm not gonna accept it. And ever since, I haven't gone back to my old habits. I haven't accepted it. And ever since, I've had many checkups, and my cholesterol is normal. It's great. I have great numbers. It never came back because I did something. I changed my diet, but I refuse to let it go and continue to eat and live the way I was living, because eventually I knew exactly what I was going to happen. I was going to be put on medication. If it continued getting high and out of control, eventually, of course, the doctor's going to prescribe medication for it, which is great. Medicine is what we need to control a lot of issues, but it doesn't cure. It does not get rid of the problem. It only suppresses it until it's too late, or until the medication is not working anymore, or until that medication is causing another illness or another disease, or is damaging the organs, you know? So my battery's running low and it's letting me know. But yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to talk about. Just, how to use our experiences in life and our common sense. For example, let's think about our grandparents. Let's think about our great grandparents. In some cases, what did they die of? What kind of illnesses did they have to live with? In some cases, even our own parents, what kind of medications are they on? What kind of illnesses or diseases they have? Or, what are they going through right now in life? And common sense is telling us not to get to that point. What do we have to do so history doesn't repeat itself? What do we have to change so we don't end up dying of the same things that our great grandparents died of? For us to avoid getting the same diseases that our grandparents have, or to avoid taking the same medications that our parents are on, and change change the things that they are doing that we don't have to do, so we don't get to that point. So if I see that my parents are ill, or they have certain issues, or they're on certain medications, I'm going to make sure that I don't eat the same way they ate, Common sense is going to tell me, well, I'm not going to let history repeat itself. I'm going to do better, or I'm going to do things different so I don't get to that point. So it's common sense, people. It's simple and it's easy. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I gotta go because this battery's gonna die soon. Bye bye. Have a nice evening, everybody.